Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Talks are resuming in Doha on a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of Israeli hostages, as key mediator Qatar says an agreement is very close. A Palestinian official familiar with the negotiations said for the first time in the war, delegations from Israel and Hamas are holding indirect talks in the same building. The deal would see action happening in stages, with 3 hostages released on the first day and Israel beginning to withdraw troops after that. President-elect Donald Trump would have been convicted of illegally trying to overturn the result of the 2020 presidential election, which he lost, if he had not successfully been re-elected in 2024. That's according to the man who led US government investigations into him. The evidence against Mr. Trump was sufficient to obtain and sustain a conviction at trial, according to special counsel Jack Smith. Donald Trump has since hit back, saying Smith was deranged and his findings were fake.
Okay. First, I want to share an update on where things stand now, as we know.
US President Joe Biden says that tens of billions of dollars will be needed to restore Los Angeles to its pre-wildfire state after the devastating fires in California. The president pledged full federal support, promising the government will cover 100% of costs for firefighter overtime and debris removal.
33% in the fire in Pasadena, 95% in Somar, and the fire in Ventura has been 100% contained. And that's progress. And, although the federal government is going to cover 100% of the cost for the next 180 days for things like firefighter overtime pay, debris removal, temporary shelters, it's going to cost tens of billions of dollars to get Los Angeles back to where it was. So we're going to need Congress to step up to provide funding to get this done. And we're going to get that done, God willing.
Rescuers have brought up 8 more bodies of dead illegal miners out of an abandoned Stilfontein mine in South Africa, while hundreds of illegal miners remain trapped below. Authorities say more than 400 people are stuck underground, while the number of dead illegal miners is over 100. There's been a tense standoff with police since November. Police said they blocked miners' supplies of food and water to force them out and arrest them for illegally entering the abandoned mine in search of leftover gold, part of a crackdown on illegal mining that has plagued South Africa for decades.
We made sure that as the cage goes down, it goes with our own volunteers so that they can give us a true reflection of what is happening down there. Yesterday they told us that about more than 400 people are still stuck down there, need to be extracted. And they also told us that the number of dead bodies is actually more than 100.
A statue of Ghana's immediate former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, put up at the end of last year, has been destroyed. The unveiling of Akufo-Addo, of his likeness in November in the country's western region, sparked a social media backlash, as well as being mocked and described as self-glorification. Its launch had been in honor of the president's development initiatives. Local media shared images showing the statue in a ruined state with its severed head lying on the ground. It is not clear who had targeted the sculpture or what the motive was, and the police have not commented. South Korea's Constitutional Court has held its first hearing to decide if the suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol should be removed from office after his shock martial law attempt last month. The hearing ended within 4 minutes because of Yoon's absence. His lawyers had earlier said he would not attend for his own safety, as there is a warrant out for his arrest on a separate charge of insurrection. In December, Mr. Yoon was suspended after members of his own party voted with the opposition to impeach him. And over 20 million people have performed the Holy Dip ritual at the Maha Kumbh Mela festival in India's northern city of Prayagraj. The ritual dip is believed to absolve devotees of sin and confers salvation from the cycle of life and death. Held every 12 years, the Maha Kumbh Mela, or Great Pitcher Festival, attracts more than 400 million visitors, both Indians and tourists. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.